ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। रामाय रामचन्द्राय रामभद्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूता रामसागरगामिनी पुनातु भुवनं पुण्या रामायणमहानदी। Today is the holy day of the birthday of Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra is our historical hero, our mythological hero, our spiritual hero of our country. So Ramayana is a mythology, but it is also called Itihasa. Itihasa Purana. Purana is called mythology and Itihasa is history. So Ramayana is both history as well as mythology. So we read today something from the Valmiki Ramayana. The Ramayana first written by the first poet of Sanskrit language, Valmiki Rishi. So we will start with Valmiki's history of how he attempted Ramayana, and from there we will come to the life of Ramachandra. We will see it in a very short, summarized way because we don't have much time. Maybe in 45 minutes we will have to see the important events of the Ramayana, the life of Sri Ramachandra. So the story of Ramayana, origin of Ramayana starts once Valmiki met Narada. Narada, he knows, he goes around the whole three worlds, the worlds above, worlds below, and our present world. So all the three worlds he travels. As soon as Valmiki meets Narada, he questions. What is his question? He asked Valmiki, is there an ideal man who possesses the following 16 qualities? What are those 16 qualities? Full of auspicious qualities, that is Gunavan. Then he must be full of valor, then full of righteousness, faithfulness, kritajnaha, truthfulness, satyavakyaha, and who is unflinching in his promises, dridhavrataha, good character, charitrya yuktaha, good character, kind to all beings, sarvabhuta hite rataha, learned, very vidwan, capable, samartha, charming, priyadarshana, spiritual, atmavan, who has subdued anger, jita krodha, is shining, dutiman, is free from jealousy, anasuyikaha, and whose anger even the gods don't dare to face in a war. Kasya bibhyati devascha jataroshasya sanyuge. So all 16 qualities to be found in one man. Then Narada replies, he says, some more qualities are there in him. I tell that, but don't think that also completes Sri Ramachandra's auspicious qualities. It is innumerable. So Narada replies, yes, there is a person living. Ikshvaka Vamsha Prabhavo Ramo Nama Janaishvataha. Yes, such a person exists. He is called by common people Rama, but wise people know him as Brahman himself. So Ramo Nama Janaihi Shuta. Ordinary people think that he is the son of Dasharatha, he is an ordinary man, but it is this person who is Parabrahman itself come in the form of a human being, is an avatar Purusha. So then Narada adds, another 24 auspicious qualities to the 16 of Valmiki, and then concludes, Sacha Sarvagunopetaha Kausalyanandavardhanaha. He is endowed with all auspicious qualities, Sarvagunopetaha, and Kausalyanandavardhanaha. He is born as the son of Kausalya and Dasharatha. So, this narration of Rama's qualities, then the whole Ramayana is told by Narada to Valmiki. Now the Valmiki is filled with the glory of Ramayana. Ramayana is the story of Rama. Ramacharita is called Ramayana. So then he was ruminating about the glorious personage of Ramachandra and all the auspicious qualities in him. And in the early morning of one day, just after this incident of meeting Narada, Valmiki was going for the early morning bath in the river. And there he was about to take bath. Then he finds a hunter suddenly appears, and Valmiki was absorbed in looking at two beautiful birds, Krauncha Mithuna. So the two beautiful birds, the male and female, they were sporting together, and he was seeing their happiness. He was also feeling happy. At that time, one hunter comes and just pierces his arrow through the male one, and the male bird falls down, crying piteously. So this was too much a shock for the poetic heart of Valmiki. And as soon as he saw this cruel act, immediately a curse came out of his mouth to the hunter. What did he say? He said, "O hunter, never shall you get honor who have murdered one of these two innocent birds when they were sporting. Such innocent birds, they were sporting, and you have killed one of them. That means you have no heart. So you don't deserve any position in the human society. Manishada pratishthantvam agama shashwati samaha. For eternity, nobody should give you any respect because of your cruelty. Yat krauncha mithunadekam avadhi kamamohitam. That two sporting birds, innocent, you have killed one of them. And the curse of Valmiki is working today also. There are restrictions on the appointment of judges. If he is a cruel person, if it is proved, no, he will not be appointed. If he is from the hunter group, in some way or other, is connected with hunters, he will not be given the position of judge. Judgment should be always merciful. So it is not possible for a hunter to be merciful. So in England it was prevalent till the other day. I don't know whether today it is there. So a hunter family will never get a judge's post. So this was the curse, and this came in the form of a poem. That is the first poem composed in the Sanskrit language, and this Kavi, this poet, Valmiki, is called the first Sanskrit poet, Adi Kavi, the first and foremost Kavi. So what did he say? Ma nishada pratishthantvam agama shashwati samaha yat krauncha mithunadekam avadhi kamamohitam. This is in the meter called Anushtup. So it is a wonderful, very simple meter. We all know Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is in the Anushtup meter, Anushtup Chanda. So when Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yutsava, Mamaka Pandavascheva, Kimakurvata Sanjaya, Yat Kraunchi Mithanadekam, Avadhi Kama Mohitam. Same meter. So Anushtup Chanda, the first poem in Sanskrit was composed, and this poem had come out of shoka, grief for the suffering of the suffering birds. Therefore, because it came out of the grief of this poet, it is called shoka, becomes shloka. So we say Valmiki constructed or wrote this shloka. Shloka means the poem that came out of shoka, of misery, looking at the misery of the birds. So this is how the first shloka in Sanskrit came out, and first person Valmiki became the first poet of the Sanskrit language, and the Kavya that was written was one of the highest class. It can stand the first position in any Purana or Itihasa, the Ramayana. So Ramayana has been an eternal composition. So when Narada came, and so Narada immediately appears, seeing this opportune moment, he is suggesting to Valmiki, now you have composed the first Sanskrit poem. Why don't compose whatever I have told you about Ramchandra, possessing all the innumerable auspicious qualities in this chandas, Anushtup chandas. Kuru Rama Katham Punyam Shloka Buddham Manoramam. Why don't you compose the life of Ramchandra in this poetic way? And I bless you that this Ramayana is going to last in the world as long as the hills and rivers last in this world. So this was Narada's blessing. Kuru Rama Katham Punyam Shloka Baddham Manoramam. Compose these beautiful verses in composing the life of Sri Ramachandra. Yavat sthasyanti gireyaha saritascha mahitale. In this world, as long as the rivers and mountains exist, tavat, until then, Ramayana Katha, this story of Ramachandra, lokeshu pracharishyati. It will continue to be recited, heard, enjoyed in this world. What a blessing! This is in the Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga, at least some 15,000 years back, each Yuga, if you give 5,000 years also, is Kali Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, Treta Yuga. So, at least 15,000 years back, this blessing of Narada continues today. All over the human beings, all over the world, wherever people are from India, they all revere Ramayana, recite Ramayana, hear Ramayana, get elevated by Ramayana, live highly moral and spiritual life by the precepts of Ramayana. So I have visited several countries where these people you do not expect there. For example, the Indonesian country. When I went to Yogyakarta, maybe in 1990s, so there Yogyakarta, I was taken to a Ramayana drama enacted by the actors, paid by the government itself. Government encourages a theatre where daily Ramayana is performed. And do you know the entrance fee? Entrance fee is equivalent to 1,000 rupees. Each seat costs 1,000 rupees, and there are 1,000 seats in the theatre. So it is full every day. All foreigners from the Southeast Asia, most of them, and even the foreigners, they have to book, otherwise you will not get tickets. So we had also to book to get three tickets for our party. So the whole Ramayana is enacted. See this, and then those people say Ramayana's ethics, the morals of Ramayana is what is sustaining us as a people of Indonesia. But they are all, most of them are Muslims. Majority of them are Muslims. But they say, what does it matter? It is the morality, it is the ethical life that we take from Ramayana. So we follow Rama and Sita and Hanuman in their morals. See, this is the greatness of Ramayana. Even today, everywhere it is revered. So now we shall start the story of Ramayana. Raja Sagara started the dynasty of Kosala kings. The Kosala kings, the first dynasty was Sagara. From Sagara, Ikshvaku came. After Ikshvaku comes Dilipa. Then after Dilipa comes the Dasharatha, father of Ramchandra. So he became the king of Kosala. Dasharatha, after a long period of marriage, he had married 3 queens and none of them bore any child for a long time. So he became worried. Then he thought, why not I do something spiritual and get children? So he called his council from his ministers, and one of his ministers said, yes, I have heard that you are destined to get 4 children, but that would be possible only when the Rishishringa comes and does sacrifice in your presence. Rishishringa was a very well-known rishi of that time. And you do first Ashwamedha Yaga, one of the biggest yaga that is known to our scriptures. So Ashwamedha, even now if something is very big, we call it as, oh, it is an Ashwamedha Yaga. It means Ashwamedha Yaga costs you so much of money, so much of in the form of prowess, power, political intelligence, because you have to go through, send a horse through the whole country, through all the different states belonging to different cultures, different kings, and this horse must come back unhurt and getting all the praise from each state. When it returns, then only you can do the Ashwamedha Yaga. So Dasharatha said, I will do the Ashwamedha Yaga. Afterwards, at the end of it, I will do another one. Putra Kameshti Yajna. Putra Kameshti, the Yajna that is done with the desire to have children. So the other ministers approved it, and then Rishishringa was brought, and Ashwamedha Yajna was completed, the horse returned, and Putra Kameshti was also performed. So when it was about to complete, at that time, what happened in the Putra Kameshti Yajna? From the Yajna fire, the fire of the sacrifice, one divine person came, Prajapatya Purusha, a Devata sent from the creator Brahma. So this Prajapatya Devata, so he came with a vessel full of payasam. Payasam, the liquid sweet made out of milk. Payas means milk. So that is prepared out of milk. This payasam in a vessel, this was carried by that Devata. He appeared from the fire and then gave that vessel to Dasharatha and told him, you see, Idantu Nripashargula Payasam Deva Nirmitam. God have prepared this payasa for you, and Prajakaram Grihanatvam. This will give you the children when you take it. And what should you do for that? Bharyanam Anurupanam Ashniteti Prayachavei Tasutvam Praptise Putran Yadarthan Yajase Nripa. So that Prajapatya told him, this payasa has been prepared with devatas in such a way, if it is given to your wives, and when they take the payasam, each one of her will bear children for you. So he gave that payasam and disappeared. Then Dasharatha brought that vessel to these 3 wives. So first he met the senior most of them, Kausalya. Then he made that payasa into half part. Half of the payasa he gave to Kausalya. Then afterwards he goes to the next in seniority, Sumitra. Then Sumitra, the half payasa that was there, he made half of it. That means 1/4 of the original vessel. So 1/4 of that payasa he gave to Sumitra. Then he had only 1/4. This, the usual course, he should have given to Kaikeyi. But it is written, he did not give to Kaikeyi the whole. He went and made half of that 1/4. That means 1/8 of the payasam she got. And another 1/8 that was remaining in his hand, he brought it back and gave it to Sumitra. So as a result of this, Sumitra got 2 doses of this payasa, prepared by the gods themselves. So therefore she got 2 children. And first one, she got Ramchandra as the son, as her son. Then this Sumitra got Lakshmana and Shatrughna, twin children. And then the third, Kaikeyi, got Bharata as her child. So after giving this payasam, some months went off, and when 10 months were completed, then in the meanwhile, here the queen, 3 queens are bearing the children. They have yet to give birth to them. In the meanwhile, what happened? On the other side, these people from this earth, they all went to Brahmaloka, because people in Bharata at that time were very much tortured by Ravana. Ravana is the king of the Rakshasas, having his capital in Colombo at that time. So at that time it was called Sri Lanka. So in Sri Lanka, he was the Lord, and all the people were on the Rakshasa Kula. That people were called Rakshasas. So, and he was the king, and he was a very cruel person. He would go to heavens also, trouble the dwellers there, and then snatch away all their wealth, snatch away all their things. So in the world, of course, where he lived, so he tortured all the spiritual people, especially those sages and rishis who were there in the jungles, who were doing spiritual yajna, yaga, etc., very sattvic in their nature. So he tortured them. So all people got very much troubled. They went to Brahmaloka and then told Brahma, see, somehow this Ravana is to be killed. Otherwise he is troubling not only men, he is troubling the Devatas also. Then Brahma said, but he has taken a boon from me that he should not be killed by anyone, whether it is a divine being, or whether it is any beast, or whether it is any other people of other races, from other lokas, from different swargas. Nobody will be able to kill him. But I now remember, he did not ask one immunity from one, and that was from a human being. Ravana must have thought, what can human being do? When Devatas cannot kill me, Rakshasas cannot kill me, Asuras cannot kill me, beasts cannot kill me. So what can the men do? He did not ask immunity from men. So now you go to Vishnu and pray to incarnate as a human being and go and finish off this Ravana. This is the only way left for you. Then all of them together goes and then go to Vishnu, then tell him the whole story. And Vishnu is a very compassionate God, because he has to protect the world. The Brahma creates, Vishnu protects. Then Shiva destroys. So Vishnu has to protect, very compassionate. So he said, all right, I have heard about you. Now what I will do is, I come to the earth, you give up all your fear, and bhayante jata madram vo hitartham yudhi ravanam hatva kruram duratmanam devarshinam bhayavaham. I will come to the earth and then kill this Ravana, who has been giving trouble to all the people, and vatsyami manushe loke, I will live in among the human beings in this world of men. Palayan prithvi mimam, I will protect this world for a long period. How long is the period of your reign in the human world? Dashavarsha sahasrani Dashavarsha Shatanicha. 10,000 years plus 1000 years. 1000 means 1000. So 11,000 years I am going to rule in this world. And so when Sri Ramchandra was born and he became the king later on, he ruled for 11,000 years. That is why the impression he has left on this country is maximum. So Ramchandra's influence very deep. Then as soon as he promised them, then the Vishnu thought, to whom shall I be born as a child? Then he told the people, yes, I Dasharatham Rochayamasa Pitaram. So he selected Dasharatha, the king of Kosala. He is a very good man, very truthful and brave. Dasharatha, his chariot used to go in all the 10 directions. The 8 directions we know, the 4 cardinal directions, and in between the other, the north east, south east, like that. So 8, and one is above and one is below. So Dasharatha in all the directions, he would take his chariot to get victory over enemies. So such a valorous person. So valorous person, very truthful, very moral. So I will be born as his children. So he told them, I will be born as the 4 children of Dasharatha. As soon as he said that he will be born, then Brahma ordered all the other devatas assembled there. Now Dasharatha will be the father of these 4 children. But only these 4 children will not be able to subdue Ravana. They require army, they require help from others. So all of you devatas, you go and take birth in the form of Vanaras. Vanara means monkeys. Vanara maybe is a particular species of men. So just as we call now different races, so perhaps there was a race. So very strong, healthy, fighting race. So you will all be born as monkeys, Vanaras. So they all agreed, yes, we will go there, we will wait for Ramchandra to grow up and we will help him when he will go and kill Ravana. So they all came down to the earth in the form of Hanuman. Among them, one of the heroic Hanuman was Hanumanta, Maruti. So this Maruti was called Hanuman. Hanuman has become the general name for that whole species of monkeys, Hanuman. But Hanuman is the particular name here. He is called Maruti, Marutasya Putra. So he is the son of Vayu, Devata Vayu. So one of his part of him was born as Hanuman. Marutasyatmaja Shriman Hanuman Nama Vanara. This Vanara named as Hanuman. So he was Vajra Sammananopeta. His body was like adamant, steel. Vainateya Samojave. He was fast like a Garuda and most intelligent and strong among all monkeys. Sarva Vanara Mukheshu Buddhiman Balavanapi. So such a monkey was also born. So they were all waiting for Rama to grow up and to help him. So on this side again we will come. What is happening with Dasharatha? 12 months passed away after he gave the payasam to his wives. Then each one of the wives gave birth to the child. Kausalya gave birth to Ramachandra, and that was in the month of Chaitra on a Shukla Paksha Navami Tithi in Punarvasu Nakshatra, in Karkata Lagna, in Guru Shukra Yoga. And when 5 planets, Surya, Mangala, Shani, Guru and Shukra were in their ascendant Uchasthana. So this is a very strange combination, auspicious combination. Then Sri Ramchandra was born. Tatascha Dvadashe Mase after 12 months of conception, Chaitre Navamiki Tithau, on the Chaitra Navami, that is today Chaitra Navami, he was born. Kausalya Ajanayat Ramam Sarva Lakshana Sanyutam, full of auspicious qualities. The child Rama was born. Similarly, Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharata. So next in seniority is Bharata. And then Sumitra gave birth to twins, as I already told, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. Thus, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna all started growing up. They were loving to one another so much. Then one day, there is a story, the Lakshmana came and then started weeping before father. He said, this Rama has been unjust to me. Then what injustice did he do? We were playing some play and he was winning. He should have won. But for my sake, making me win, he has lost the game. To make me happy. It is injustice. You must punish him for that. See the love of Rama. So like that on the four were loving to one another. Then they grew up. The Rama was a little less than 16 years. At that time, Vishwamitra comes and tells Dasharatha, you please send Rama and Lakshmana with me. Rama and Lakshmana, somehow, they were very intimate with one another. As if they were twins. And the Bharata and Shatrughna were very intimate with one another, like twins. So this Rama and Lakshmana always moved together, played together, worked together. So Vishwamitra came and told, you see the Rakshasas are coming and disturbing our sacrifice and other things, sacred rituals. You please send Ramchandra and Lakshmana. Let them come, they will be able to kill these Rakshasas. Then Dasharatha first, as soon as Vishwamitra came, he promised it. Oh Rishi, you have come to our place, we are very happy. Whatever you ask, I will give you. Just like that, he promised. When Vishwamitra asked for Rama and Lakshmana, he became very sorry. He started pleading, they are not even 16-year-old, so how can I send them? You rather take me, I will try to protect you from these Rakshasas. Then Vishwamitra said, no, you have promised Rama and Lakshmana, you must send them. Then Vasishtha comes and then advises Dasharatha, you see, Vishwamitra has come to train your children. Not that so much of help he requires from them. He wants to take them with him. He will train them as some of the great people have been trained. And for that he is asking you send them. There is no danger for your child. Then Dasharatha agrees. Then Vishwamitra takes both of them. They kill Tataka on the way. So that Tataka, this lady, she used to kill all the rishis and eat them away. So when Vishwamitra asked Rama and Lakshmana, kill this Tataka, then they said, but no, he said, but she is a woman. A woman should not be killed by a Kshatriya king. He said, no. When people are troubled for the welfare of the people, anything can be done by the Kshatriyas. So kill this Tataka. Then by an arrow, Ramchandra killed. And that is the first killing of a Rakshasa he does. From that he starts his valor and valorous career. Then they move on. Then on the way, so they go to Vishwamitra's place. When he is doing the yajna, this Maricha and Subhahu, the two great violent Rakshasas of Ravana, they came, they were about to destroy the yajna of Vishwamitra. But they did not know that Rama and Lakshmana were protecting it. As soon as Subhahu and Maricha came nearer, then Rama and Lakshmana, they charged their arrows at them, and then one was killed. Subhahu was killed, and Maricha was taken to 100 miles away and thrown into the sea. So anyway, they got the yajna, rid of these enemies. So yajna was completed. Vishwamitra was very much pleased. He said, let me take you to Mithila, where we will see the Shiva Dhanush. If anybody can string it, then he can marry the daughter of Janaka. So we will go and see that. So he proceeded towards Mithila. On the way, they found an ashrama of Rishi Gautama. His wife, for some sins she created, and she was made into a stone by the curse of Gautama. So Gautama cursed, you be a stone until Ramchandra comes and touches you with his feet. Then you will get redeemed from the stone body and you will become a living person. Then Vishwamitra asked, do you see that stone of Ahalya? She has become a stone because of the curse of Gautama. You touch that stone with your feet. Then Ramchandra goes and places his foot on that stone. Immediately the wife of Gautama, the dazzling purity, she comes out and then prostrates before Rama, and she is the pristine, pure Ahalya. She becomes Ahalya Uddhara. He does like that. That shows the spiritual power that has developed in this young 16-year-old boy. So he can touch and remove all the sins of sinners and make them pristine, pure. So that is the first instance we see Ahalyodhara, redemption of Ahalya. Then they reach Mithila, where King Janaka is there, and Vishwamitra says, please show these two brothers have come, so they would like to see the Shiva Dhanu. And so you show them, and if they can, let them string the Dhanu, and then you can marry Sita with him as you already promised. Then the king brought the big Dhanus, big bow. This bow that was so heavy, so big, it is said some 5,000 people had to bring it on 8 wheels cart, pulling it, and then Rama was allowed to see that. Rama sighed, he was satisfied, he said, yes, I will be able to handle it. Then Dasharatha, then Janaka ordered for a Swayamvara. So he called other kings also, where Ravana also came. So Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Rakshas also came. Other different kings also came. Ramchandra also went there. Then this Dhanush was kept before them, this bow of Shiva Dhanu, Shiva's bow. And come on, now whoever wants the hand of Sita, now we must come and string this one. All of them tried. Nobody could even shake it from its place, leave alone making it stand and bending it and stringing it. That is the far off cry. They all failed. Then Dasharatha and other people got very much worried. So if all kings have failed, Rakshasas have also failed, Ravana also has failed, who will string this one? Till then, Ramchandra is simply keeping quiet because he requires the order of his guru, Vishwamitra. Then Vishwamitra, when he saw this, that nobody is able to do this, stringing this Shivadhanu, he just tells Rama, you go and give a trial. So Rama, for obeying his guru, he just walks slowly with a kingly gait, slowly comes, lifts up that big bow. Everybody is wondering. So we could not even move it. This fellow lifted it up. Then he tries to string it. So for stringing it, he bends the upper part of it to an arch. By such a strong bend he gave, the whole bow got broken in between. So it fell down. The broken Shivadhanu has fallen down. Whole court rose in appreciation for the valor and strength of Ramchandra. And of course Sita was there. She was extremely pleased. So she comes and puts the garland around him. Then they send word to Dasharatha, so he brings the other children also, the Shatrughna and Bharata also. Lakshmana is already here. All the four were married. Sita was married to Ramchandra, then Mandavi, another daughter. So she was married to Bharata. Then Shrutakirti and Urmila were two daughters of Kushadhwaja, the brother of Janaka. So those two daughters were married to Shrutakirti to Shatrughna and Urmila to Lakshmana. So like this, Rama was married to Sita, then Mandavi was married to Bharata, then Shrutakirti to Shatrughna, then Urmila to Lakshmana. All the four were married. So after this marriage, they come back. On the way, there is the exploit with Parashuram. Parashuram was angry with the Kshatriyas because his father had been insulted and killed by a Kshatriya king. So he wanted to punish. So he comes to Rama also. They are going to Ayodhya, but the Parashuram challenges him. You just sing my bow. This bow is Vishnu's bow. It is Vishnu Dhanu. If you don't do this one, then I will fight with you. You must give me a physical fight. Then Ramchandra takes up the challenge, defeats Parashurama and strings the bow. And then afterwards, then Parashurama's pride is humbled. So then he praises him. Oh Lord, you are not an ordinary person. Ramchandra, you are Akshayam Madhuhantaram, Jnanamitvam Surottamam. I know that you are God Himself. You have come like this. After praising like this, Parashurama departs once and for all from the sea. Then Ramchandra comes to Ayodhya. There lives with Dasharatha as the young prince, and for 12 years pass away. Rama becomes very dear to everyone. Then Dasharatha one day resolves, so I should coronate him. So I will coronate and I will retire. So let him become the king of Kosala. So he fixes the date, but that was not to be. We all know in the Ramayana that Manthara is an evil advisor to Kaikeyi, and Kaikeyi is son Bharata. So Kaikeyi says, my son must become king. The usual tradition is the eldest son will acquire the kingdom from the father. But this Kaikeyi, the third wife, was very dear to Dasharatha. He was infatuated with her. So she says, send away Rama, I don't want him to become king. My Bharata must become king. Though by the very arrangements you have made for coronation of Rama, so let my Bharata be coronated and let Rama be sent away to jungle for 14 years. So Rama is sent away, Rama goes away, then Bharata was away in his uncle's house, maternal uncle's house. He comes back and then hears that Rama has been sent away and mother has contrived like this that he should inherit the kingdom. He refuses to inherit the kingdom. He goes to meet Ramchandra. Ramchandra refuses. No, I have given word to Dasharatha that I will go to Aranya, go to the jungle for 14 years. Only after 14 years I will come back. So you go and rule the kingdom in my name. So Bharata does not acquire the kingdom. He rules the kingdom of Kosala for 14 years as a representative of Ramchandra. Great moral we learn from Ramayana. Not at all greedy about anything. All the four brothers. So Bharata lives like a hermit nearby Ayodhya and rules. In the meanwhile, so Ramchandra goes into the jungle and we know the story. Continues, it's a long one. We cannot complete it in a short while. So Rama goes and Sita is abducted by Ravana. Then Sugriva helps Ramchandra to get back Sita, and Hanuman plays a very important role. He goes, jumps across the sea, goes to Sri Lanka and then meets Vaidehi, comes and gives the information to Ramchandra. And Rama, after getting the information, goes and defeats Ravana and all his tribe. So in the meanwhile, before the war started, Vibhishana comes. Only after this one incident I tell and we'll come to the close. So Vibhishana comes and takes refuge in Sri Ramchandra. Ramchandra's counselors, all Sugriva and Yangada, etc., they say he is the enemy's brother. How can you give him refuge? He may simply subterfuge. He may just expose us to dangers. Ramchandra says his great words, famous in the Ramayana. So you say that I should not give refuge to him when he has come and proclaimed that he wants to take refuge in me. Anybody who comes and asks for refuge, I will give him refuge. Nobody can stop me. This is my vow. So, Anenam Harishreshta Dattam Asyabhayam Maya Vibhishano va Sugriva Ravano idiva swayam Sakrideva Prapannaya Tamasmiti cha yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadamyetat Vratam Mama. He says, for any being that says, I am taking refuge under you, please save me, I will certainly save him. This is the vow of my life. And you are talking about Vibhishana, the brother of Ravana. Let Ravana himself come and ask for refuge, I will give him. So that is the glory of Ramchandra. He is compassionate to everyone, whoever takes refuge under him. So this is the message, great message of Ramayana. No jiva, no living individual soul can have to grieve. Take refuge under God. God is compassionate to the extreme. He will excuse all of your sins and takes you in his arms. So Sri Ramchandra shows that magnanimity of the Avatara, the king. So afterwards, then he conquers Ravana, returns to Ayodhya. There he rules, as has already been declared, for 11,000 years. So the Ramayana closes. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahisha gobrahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May rains come at right seasons. May the earth be green with vegetables and others. May the world be free from turmoils. Let it be free from corona also. May the spiritual people live fearlessly. May the rulers rule the country with the greatest justice. May the cows and spiritual men ever live in safety, and may all the people of the world live in joy and peace. So Ramayana closes with a blessing to all of us. Today we are glad, we are fortunate to hear something about the glory of Sri Ramchandra. May Sri Ramchandra, who has incarnated in this age as Sri Ramakrishna, ever bless us for a lasting, peaceful and spiritual life. Jai Ram Krishna, Jai Ramchandra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.